Welcome, guys. It's Andy and Lewis here from D6 Evolution.
Hello!
And it's time for more chaos.
Oh boy, yes it is. Yeah. Once again, the chaos come back to fight for another day.
Yeah. Now, there's been a lot of people saying that the new Chaos book, they've been a little bit of a downer about it, but we're here to tell you that that is so not the case.
I have absolutely no idea why. Every single legion has got something that makes it really strong. Any one of these legions could be absolute top tier. Maybe not World Eaters, but the rest of it's got something that really puts it on the map. So, no, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. So, the idea behind this video, now, unfortunately, we were all away the weekend. Everyone was doing the pre-order, the pre-release videos.
Yeah. And we only got the copy on Friday, so we didn't have much time to look at it before anyway.
So we're not going to do the video where we're going to talk through the entire book because, number one, that takes forever, and two, people have already done that already. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about what really gets us excited about this book, and we're going to show you how to bring it all together and make that ultimate marine killing list.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can definitely do it in more ways than one, but we've got a couple ideas already.
Yeah, and Lewis, before we did this video, Lewis has been going through some absolutely bonkers lists he's got going on, and they are really scary. So if you are not a Chaos player, you need to listen to this to figure out what's coming at you. Mm-hmm. And if you are a Chaos player, you need to listen to this.
Just consider it to be music to your ears. This is the sound of Slaanesh coming right at you.
Right, so let's kick things off. The other thing to say is that Chapter Approved is coming out in a few weeks' time, and this is going to shake this whole book up again. So be sure to check back on D6 Evolution afterwards, because we're going to be doing another video, and we're going to be talking a bit more about this book then, because the whole thing could change.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's been really hard to write lists because you're like, well, this works really well at the moment, but if the points change, all of a sudden that unit could be garbage and another unit could be good. So it is hard, I must admit. But the principles are there, and when you look at the book, you realise that these things will always be strong, regardless of what unit's carrying it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the main things at the moment, if the meta stays roughly how it is with the Space Marines, because no one's really expecting them to get changed in Chapter Approved, is that when we're building this Chaos list, the key things we need to think about is high damage, high AP shots, ignores cover, preferably 2 or 4 damage, because they're the things which we need to really think about. But let's kick things off, buddy.
Actually, just on that point, the last video that we did together, you said, your Assault Centurions, all you need is a 4 damage weapon and an ability to just take them off the board. And I said, I don't know what Chaos has to do that. Well, Chaos have got it straight away. Word bearers, absolutely got an option there. So
yeah, right. So let's kick things off. Let's go through the Legion. Let's talk about what really got you excited in some of these Legions, because there's some things, even as a non-Chaos player, that I was like, I really want that. I want to play Chaos. Where should we start?
Well, to be honest, I'll talk very quickly about an overview of some of the biggest stuff in the book, and then we'll just whiz through the Legions quite quickly just to kind of get a feel for what I think is strong in each one without spending too much time on it, because I could do a half-hour video. You know me, I could talk for hours. I could do a half-hour video on every single Legion, so we'll try and keep it short. So when I was flicking through the book, for me, I'm always looking for things that are absolute force multipliers or unique stratagems or unique relics or whatever it is that would change the way the army plays, because like at the moment I feel like if you're playing against Space Marines particularly, they're a brute force army. They have so much firepower, they have so much strength that unless you can compete with that by having equally as much brute force, you've got to be looking for other nifty tricks or ways around it. So just calling out some off the top of my head, like the conceal strat from Alpha Legion to be able to hide an infantry unit from being shot, the Vox Scream strat, I think it's called, from the Night Lords that lets them turn off all their abilities. It's stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that are like completely changing the game.
Yeah. But there was also tech in your list, doesn't it? It's just something for everything.
Something for something, yeah, exactly. So they go, I've got Gilliman re-1 hits and wounds, like an old-fashioned thing. Well, you turn Gilliman off, and all of a sudden, they're not doing that. So something like Vox Screen's ability to do that. The no fallback, obviously, a lot of people were pinning that as probably one of the best things in the book. It's amazing. I still think there's better stuff in the book. So there's that side of things, and then just on the flip side of it, there's also there is the raw power in this book. Iron Warriors getting to reroll hits and wounds and damage and type of their weapons, Emperor's Children getting a full reroll Aura of Wounds. These are the kind of things that actually can bring your shooting up into level with the Space Marines, and you can actually compete in that sphere of shooting them. So those are the things I'm looking at going through the book, and there's lots of that in this book. But what I think is good, if we just start just quickly going through the legions, and I'll just point out some things that people should look at, and not to talk about list ideas, but just roughly, giving some food for
talk about the combos that are there.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, we'll start with word bearers. Word bearers in the old books were nothing. They had the worst legion trait rate I think there is in the entire game, which is just reroll their morale checks, which your Space Marines had as just a normal ability anyway, and that was their entire legion trait. Yeah. The only thing good about them before, and it still stands today when you're thinking about your list, is they have that 3 damage power maul, which obviously is like a Thunderhammer without the -1 to hit, and it reroll wounds against Imperium, so that was always good. Now you can put that on, for example, a Warlord with a demon trait. The fact that you can give demon keyword to anything in your army or any characters in your army.
I saw that.
God, I've said that before when we were looking at Vigilus Ablaze. I said, if you only had a way to give something the demon keyword, it would be amazing. Well, you've got this, and Iron Warriors have something similar as well. So, it's amazing, and also the fact that it gives them the possessed keyword means that obviously it's linking with that Vigilist attachment to get the mortal wounds. It means you can use their Revered Host stratagem, which gives them an extra damage on their weapons. So that 3 damage is becoming a 4 damage weapon. So that's where you get that 4 damage from. For that.
Hold on, what's the one where you get the mortal wounds? Chaos, buddy.
So it's the Vigilus. It's called the Demon Host Ritualist, or Demonkin Ritualist, I think it's called. Demonkin Ritualist. It's not great on an individual character, but if you're taking it, you're taking the possessed, and basically I think every unmodified hit roll of 6, it might be wound roll, I think it's hit roll, they get a mortal wound, and they also get a +1 attack and stuff. So that stuff already exists, but the fact that this book is really pushing possessed and has loads of things for you to do, and the fact that now you can make your Chaos Lord a possessed Lord, so that he's got, with that Accursed Cronius, he's boofing up. So that's great. Just a couple of things from these guys. That the fact that you can get a guaranteed cast on a spell, because if you fail it, you pay a CP and then it auto passes, they can't deny it, is just phenomenal. If you want, if your entire list revolves around getting Mortarion warp timed up the board, and then you fail that warp time, you're absolutely screwed. So the fact that you can just put in a Supreme Command attachment and know for a fact you're getting that warp time, you almost want to fail it, so that you can pay the CP.
Do you have to fail it to get the guarantee?
Yeah, I think you do. After your army fails a psychic test, you pay the CP, and then it's automatically manifested, and they can't deny it. But you take a mortal wound, but who cares? So you almost do want to fail it, but at the same time, you've cast it, you cast it. If you're out of range, you're not going to be denied.
So I assume would the Iron Warriors stratagem still work? The Iron Hands, even, to deny your psychic power?
No, it specifically says it. I think it cannot be resisted. No, actually, it could probably say it cannot be resisted by Deny the Witch attempt. Right, okay.
Okay, yes. So the Iron Hands will still do it?
Yeah, they will, and their World Eaters and stuff as well. But I think the idea behind it is that you're going to use it for something like warp time, most likely. You're going to keep yourself out of range because your warp time in just,
and you really want to fail it, so just... Well, actually, it's just really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, or Death Hex is a massive one that you always like fingers crossed that it's going to go off, because it just completely changes the game when it does. You got a squad of Plague Bearers, you Death Hex them, you start shooting them heavy bolt. It's just amazing. So, but then if you don't, it's just impossible. So, yeah, it's just the fact that you have the guarantee on there is amazing. And they get extra. Their Dark Apostles can do 2 powers and stuff. That's phenomenal. So just so much of that book. I'm not going to go too much into Word Bearers because there's better stuff in the book. But you could definitely write a top tier Word Bearers army list that's got that centers around possessed and psychic powers, and just be amazing. Or you can just put in a Supreme Command of a Dark Apostle, a Malefic, a Chaos Lord, and a Master of Possession or something, and it's a nice little add-on to an army to get those guaranteed psychic powers and stuff off. So absolutely perfect part of the toolkit. And the last thing I'd mention about them, which is amazing, I think it's even better than the Night Lords, is they've got a relic that it just doesn't let you fall back. It's worded exactly the same as the Night Lords one is, but it's a relic instead of a strat, so it can't be denied. So if you're going up against your Drakari, Eldari shooty list, you can charge in there and you know that they're not going to be denied. And the fact that you can put it on a character, and that character can be on a bike or however, and you can warp time him, like put it on a sorcerer on a bike, he can warp time himself guaranteed, and then he's getting into combat with that relic. Like that is a Supreme Command attachment perfect addition. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty much like the Master of Snares, but is it guaranteed to work, or is it you roll off?
Yeah, it's guaranteed. No, there's no roll off. It's just guaranteed.
Super strong.
And it's not a strat, so like.
Is it against? Has it got limits?
And it's a weapon.
Is it infantry only, or is it?
It's exactly the same as the the Night Lords one. So
okay,
it's
so non-vehicles,
non-vehicle, non-titanic, and non-minimum move characteristic. But the point is, it replaces a chain axe, so it doesn't cost anything because your model comes with chain axe anyway, and it's also a +1 AP2 D3 damage weapon anyway. So like on a sorcerer costing a guaranteed walk time himself, that he's going on a bike, he's going 28 inches on a bloody steed of Slanesh, he's going 28 inches plus advance and charge as well for free, twice on a walk time. He's getting wherever he needs to be. He's charging in and he's locking it down so it can't fall out. So that bloody Leviathan, Iron Hands Leviathan, you're going to hide behind a wall, charge into it, and it's not shooting for the rest of the game. It does.
Lewis, I've just bought a Space Marine army and I don't want it anymore. I want to play Chaos.
Put horns and spikes on them. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
I literally did that in my Alpha Legion of Blitz. I bought the aggressors and I put like long weapons on them, horns and spikes, and called them.
I was looking through this book when it came out, just after getting the Space Marines, and like, I don't want to play that. I want to play Chaos.
It's so much fun stuff, man.
Like all the stratagems in this book, and I think, honestly, after the last few releases of books, this one's a lot better written, and it's just more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. They've definitely focused on the fun and really the fluffiness of the list. This feels like a word bearer's list, making your lord like a possessed champion and then going after the enemy. Like it's good. The hexagrammic ward is such a great strat. I mean, it's not like the most strong everything, but the fact that you can automatically make it count as a 6, as if he's got like a chaos hexagrammic ward on him, is just amazing and really strong and competitive. And just knocked out the park with the book for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go for a little bit quicker because I spent a little bit too much on time on one. Yeah. Night Lords, I mean, they're great. They're absolutely great. I don't want to spend too much time talking about them because it's obvious what they do. You take your Warp Talons and they get 3d6 charge with +2 or 3 out of combat. So I don't need to talk about that. We've just talked about the no fallback. They've got the same thing as a strat. So people are aware of that stuff anyway.
That's super strong, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And you're gonna. Yep. I presume you combine this with the host Raptoral, do you?
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, that's how you're doing it, isn't
it?
I mean,
+2 to charge.
So that's +2 to charge on the Warlord trait. Yeah, but obviously you can pay for that. But I think the thing is, at the moment, Warp Talons are still 24 points a model. You take a 10-man squad, that's 240 points. It's just not worth it. So I presume they're going to come down in chapter approved. And if they do,
this is the thing, isn't it? It is, because it's quite hard to wrap with quite a flimsy unit.
Yeah, it's just the three ups guys, like 1 wound, like they're nothing. They're not going to survive, and that's 240 points to this. It's like an 8 for your list. Like it's just stupid.
Are they the ones which you can have no Overwatch for, though?
Yeah, the turn they come out of combat. So it's a guaranteed no Overwatch charge, and then you're going to wrap them, but then you're just T4 with a 3-up save. So 5 up on paper, like you a 5 invulnerable save. But yeah. I think right now they're not something, but chapter approved. If they made them down 10 points cheaper models, then they'd be amazing. So in that bracket is where they could be strong. Obviously, if you're taking a Supreme Command and you want to take Chaos Swords or Thunder Hammers, this makes a lot of sense, because then you can 3d6 charge 1, you can drop 1 into cover for +2 to the charge. They both have +2 to charge anyway, so that's +4 in that one. And then he gets +1 to his hit roll, which is obviously great. And then you can reroll wounds with the other one, so you've got 2 Thunder Hammers that are just going off. So, there's stuff in there. But to be honest, for me, I think it's just worth mentioning 2 things. One, Vox Scream, which I mentioned is the meta-breaking strat, because that basically means that they can't use any of their aura abilities. What I've also done, and I would highly recommend everyone do this, when you go through the book, just before you do anything, just go through the book and see in the bold text what units it can do. So, for example, some of this stuff, like the Raptor Strike, obviously says Night Lord's Jump Pack, so that has to be a Jump Pack unit. Other stuff says like Night Lord's Infantry, so it has to be a Night Lord's Infantry. But some stuff just says Night Lord's unit. So, for example, Vox Green says Night Lord's unit, which means straight away I'm thinking, actually, I'll put that on a bloody Helldrake. because that Helldrake goes up 30 inches. It's got an 18-inch range with that ability, 48 inches. You're not getting away from that. So that Helldrake is my guaranteed Vox Scream on your Farius, well, what's he called, the Forge Father guy. So that may well be your Iron Stone. If not, it's your 5-up Feel No Pain. Like whatever you want. You take your Lieutenant with your Iron Stone, thinking that's how you're playing your game, and you just fly a Helldrake up, and for 2 CP, you've lost your reroll 1s to wound, and you've lost your Iron Stone. Like, there's stuff like that's why you take it. So,
just a random thing. Would an aura ability include anything like the Space Marine infiltrators, the things like would push them up?
Yeah, I really don't know. They're going to have to FAQ this, because I was thinking about it.
Because that would be a great way of like actually getting your Deep Strikers in if you're running Night Lords with it.
Yeah, because it doesn't say selected unit aura abilities on their data sheet, and it doesn't define what an aura ability is. I mean, previously we've had a guess for that, but they're going to need to tighten that up, because I was thinking, like, say you did a stratagem which gave you an aura. So, like, I don't know, like, thinking of a stupid one, like the Nurgle one, reroll 1s to wound, reroll 1s you're disgustingly resilient on an aura around a character. Is that an aura ability? I guess it is, but it's not on the data slate. So I don't know. They've got to tighten up, because it's loose at the moment. It would have arguments over for sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah, so that's really strong. And lastly, this is super strong. I definitely would rate this. The Prey on the Weak, right, is 1 CP, and it gives you +1 to hit if they got lower leadership than you. Which obviously, playing Night Lords in a full detachment, you're going to be minusing their leadership. Most of the stuff you're going to have is going to probably have a high leadership anyway. I was thinking, like, I played a lot of double shooting Terminators with the plasma guns, and I would have to cast Prescient. And if Prescient didn't go off, that entire unit is just worthless because you can't overcharge. Well, the fact is that when Dark Apostle came out, then I was thinking about doing a Dark Apostle where he has to start on the board, so that doesn't really work either. But Night Lords Terminators coming down with the combi plasmas, giving themselves +1 to hit because they're leadership 8, and whatever they're shooting is probably leadership 7 or whatever, or leadership 6 because it's been reduced by 1. Straight away they're overcharging, double shooting those plasma guns. 10 or 20 plasma shots, strength 8, AP -3, 2 damage, shooting twice with the Sinesh Endless Cacophony, 40 plasma shots. I mean, that is solid. So anyway, I just thought those are some of the key units in there.
So that's Night Lords. What's next?
Yeah, I think it's Alpha Legion next.
Ooh.
I haven't really gone into any of the artifacts. It's interesting to note that, and I always thought this before, it's a shame they've changed the rule of 3 on the DPs, on the Demon Princes, because there's loads of things in here that gives you like a 2-up save. Some of them are locked to infantry, but some of them aren't. So it's just a shame that you can't have like 4 or 5 Demon Princes 2-up saves. Like, that'd be great. Like 1 from each chapter. Yeah. Anyway, Alpha Legion. So probably going to spend a little bit longer on Alpha Legion because I think it's one of the winners of the book. Actually, it's the first. When I went through the whole book and I literally just sat in the car on the drive home, just reading every single page. Once I've read everything, I went straight back to Alpha Legion because on first read that gave me so many ideas. Just the play in this army. I mean, you give up a lot of the raw power that the other lists have, but the play to just be here, there, everywhere, doing everything is just amazing. Some immediate call-outs is got to be the Faceless Commander and the Master of Diversion, I think it's called. So Master of Diversion is, we've seen this before in a few other lists, Drakari have it and things like that. You pick up, after you deploy, you pick up 3 units and redeploy them at the start of the first battle round. So obviously that's really good for like throwing the enemy off, deploying over to the right hand side, redeploying over to the left. I've talked about in previous videos doing that with Phantasm on the Eldar, and it really is strong. If you learn how to play it, it's amazing. It just throws the enemy completely off.
Do you know why that works really well? Because people put super slow moving Assault Centurions in your face.
Mm-hmm. And they go, I'm playing a Plonkum here, and you go, okay, well.
And then you roll off, so they've got a 50% chance of having to place their Assault Centurions at the Raven Guard before... And then you just move to the other end of the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously it picks up all the transports as well. So, like if you wanted to, you put all your bloody berserkers and rhinos. That's a way of doing it, putting them and then picking up all 3 of them, moving over to the left. There's loads of stuff you can do with this. I think it's probably best used on obliterators, and I think this entire part of this book is best used on obliterators because you can start them on the board. You put them over fairly early. You play the game, right? They know you've got this as a warlord trait, but if you've got a few other units and stuff, you play the game where you kind of like deploy them maybe second or third or fourth. Once they put something down that it might well be in range of, then they're obviously going to deploy the rest of their army over the far side. If you're doing alternate deployment, and then you can move those across and get them back in range and stuff. So you can play a lot around that. And if you're going first, then you can put them wherever you want because they're going to try and avoid them. And if you're going second, then you can put them wherever you want anyway. You don't need to face commander. So, the diversion. So it's just lots of play in that. I mean, we could probably do a tactics video purely on making use of that. Maybe I should do that at some point. The other thing for me in the warlord traits is the faceless commander. Oh man, I had so many ideas about this because totally legit. Lord Arcos got the Alpha Legion.
You've had so many list ideas of this guy.
Dude, he's like, well, because he lets you deploy anywhere you want on the board in the deployment phase. So what I was thinking is you take one, because you can take 2 warlord traits with one of the strats as well. So you take 1 warlord trait of Master of Diversion and 1 warlord trait of Faceless Commander. You put Lord Arcos in, because he doesn't have a fixed warlord trait, so he takes the Master of Diversion. You put him right at the front of the board. In fact, you don't. You put him in your deployment zone or something. Deploy him like a regular character, and then and then you also put like a Master of Possession, for example, as the other character. And then at the start of the battle round, you can use Master of Diversion to redeploy him as per the deployment rules, which means you deploy him right into their face in the middle of their army, which they're not expecting. And then you use Faceless Commander to bring your Master of Possession right next to him, which they're not expecting. And then why not summon 120 bloodletters off those 2 models? Because Lord Arcos will summon and then use the strat from the demon thing to let him summon again. And then in the psychic phase, the Master of Possession summons and uses the demon strat to let him summon again. So turn 1, you're getting charged with 120 bloodletters. And you cannot avoid it. And you probably don't even expect it because they start deployed in your deployment phase, in your deployment zone. You're not even expecting to be deep strike. Like I even thought originally, maybe I'll combo this with like Thousand Suns or something. But as soon as you're doing that, they're expecting to be first turn charged. So, but if you're playing this, you're not looking at you're looking at a board. You're seeing summoning points, which you're thinking are coming down turn 2, and you're seeing nothing that can threaten you turn 1. And all of a sudden, you get charged by 120 bloodletters out of nowhere.
Yeah, and they've not screened, they've not done anything.
They've not screened, they've not prepared for it. And even if you have screened and you have prepared for it, like what the hell do you do against that? Like 120 bloodletters turn 1, like that's like, and it's not even that. It's like that entire combo is like 800 points, like 700 points, I think, for the 2 characters. Oh man. Anyway, like. So anyway, there's loads of jokes you could do that. Moving on. Moving on. So into the strats then, I think Alpha Legion won overall on the strats just because there's so much good. There's like barely any of those strats are rubbish. So I think overall, I'm going to start talking about a Blitz now because I think a Blitz really make use of all of these strats. So you just take 1 or even 2 squads of Blitz and you just can, every one of these strats is amazing for them. So first of all, Forward Operatives. It's a book that's been in books since forever. You start those a Blitz on the board. You redeploy them wherever you want them to be redeployed, and then you move them 9 inches, which means that they're guaranteed to be in range. Because the biggest problem that Blitz have is they only got 24-inch range. So the fact that they can be redeployed anywhere where they want to be after the battle has started, and then move 9 inches to be, again, anywhere they want to be. And then in their turn, they get to move their normal 4-inch move. Like, you literally can shoot anything you want from turn 1. So that was already in the book, but that's just, you're going to make use of that a lot. Then the next stratagem on the list is Conceal. Like, now you just make that a Blitz not being able to be shot unless they're the closest model. That's 2 CP, so it's an investment over a couple of turns if you're going to do it more than once. But Jesus Christ, like, that's an Blitz that moves wherever he wants to be and then cannot be shot. Like, that's phenomenal. And then do you know what? He might get charged. Well, how's he going to get charged? He could possibly be charged by something coming out of Deep Strike. Nope, because you use the 1 CP strat that means they deploy 12 inches from you, and then you use the 2 CP strat to let you shoot at that unit as it comes out with your squad of obliterators. Like, so they're not, or if they do get wrapped up in combat, you pay 1 CP for feigned retreat and you fall back and shoot anyway. So it's like every one of those is like, no, I'm gonna use my bloody obliterators. So yeah, that's phenomenal. So what I was kind of thinking is, probably 2 squads of obliterators. So both squads get redeployed at the start of the phase. Both squads you pay a CP for their 9-inch pre-game move. One squad you're going to make concealed, so they can't be shot, and the second you're going to make it's -1 to hit anyway because they're Alpha Legion.
Yeah.
You can sit a Dark Apostle next to them to make another -1 to hit, so they're pretty much unshootable back. And I think the combo is probably put next to a Master of Possession, because then he can give them a 4-up invulnerable save, and he can let both squads reroll hits and wounds at 1. So like that's a solid firebase. I mean, a Blitz is still stupidly expensive, so that's like 700 points. But the fact that one can't be shot at all and the other can barely even die is really strong,
isn't it?
Yeah. And even if you just, I made a joke obviously about Lord Arcos and the Master of Possession being at the front, but like, if they're summoning anything, that's going to be the closest model. So these Blitz are going to be safe. They're not going to be able to be shot under conceal. I thought, to be honest, you'd probably just take a little mini battalion of Nurglings, take one squad of like 9 Nurglings, put it right at the front of the board, give it just run into them and tell them they have to shoot all those 9 Nurglings before they're even thinking about shooting a Blitz, who obviously moved 9 inches up and way clear. So yeah, like I think that little combo there is amazing. If you want to really ramp that up, put a Crimson Crown. Make the Mark of Khorne and then put a Crimson Crown next to them, so that the reroll 1s to wound is giving them more likely to get the 6s on.
But then they can't double shoot, can they?
They can't double shoot, but then you've got the double shoot for something else, because that's not your entire list, right? So then you go, okay, I'm also going to take some Lascannon Havocs, or I'm going to take some Iron Warriors, or Emperor's Children, and that's going to be what's double shooting, because you can't double shoot everything. So that actually frees up the double shoot, which you'll probably take somewhere else. So yeah, I like. Oh man, that's strong. And then you're making devastation batteries, so they're shooting at the start of the turn if you don't go first, and you're pre-game moving them wherever you want them to be. And the Crimson Crown's still operating to give them, extra hits on 6s. So if it all goes to plan, you could legitimately in one turn shoot one squad of obliterators 4 times, right? Because you devastation in. If you go second, so they go first, your devastation battery lets you shoot once, and then it's your turn, so you shoot them. And then they bring in a deep striker turn 1, which obviously like Thousand Suns could Dark Matter Crystal turn 1. So then you ambush to shoot a second turn. Then it's your turn and you shoot normally, and then you Endless Cacophony to shoot again. So that unit's shot 4 times and is concealed, so it can't be shot back. And it's obliterated, which is high good firepower. Like. that's good. So anyway, I just had a lot of fun with that. I was thinking there's a lot of stuff you could do there, and even if just one squad obliterates and a little min Alpha Legion. The other thing I was thinking is that the cultists, because you're going to take a battalion, right? You're taking 2 commanders. You already, it makes a lot of sense to have a battalion. It's only 3 squads of cultists. Well, that Renaissance infiltration, which is the only strat we haven't talked about, so everything else is obviously fucking solid, is 1 CP pick a unit up, and then in your next movement phase, put it down. So you just pick up a unit of occultists and chuck it at the back of their board sometime. And then towards the end of the game, you just do the same thing. Like turn 4, turn 5, you just pick up a unit of occultists been hiding the entire game and chuck them on a point in their objective, in their deployment zone for line breaker and to hold a point. Like, that's so strong. I mean, people
it just pulls them from one point in the board to the other, doesn't it? In order to be able to deal with that sort of... in order to be able to deal with 40 cultists, you've got to actually move over the board and kill them usually.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't even talking about 40 cultists. I'm just talking about little min squads of 10, right? Because it's just, all I was thinking is that if you're playing like Dawn of War, right, and you normally have, like 1 point here, 1 point there, 1 point there, you do get stretched. And oftentimes you end up like focusing your army levy here and putting one unit like a Dreadnought or something out over there, just sit on that point to try and hold it. I do that a lot with Derrideers. It's just out on its own, like Derrideer. If he dies, you lose that point. But then they're focusing over here. They're unlikely to try and put something on that point. So what happens is that throughout the game, that point could be lost by them, but you're not getting it. But the fact is that you can just pay 1 CP, put something in deep strike. They lose that point. You just deep strike on it. You've taken it. So that movement is just phenomenal. And that strat's 1 CP. You could do that every turn and put something, in different places all the time. Really good.
And you can do that after turn 3 as well, I presume.
Yeah. I don't think there's any restriction on it. No, it just says any models, that can't be set up or destroyed. If the battle ends before the unit is set up, it's destroyed. So you can do that in the last round for line breaker. It's like a guaranteed line breaker.
But I mean, it just means they've got to keep their deep striking screening up every single turn.
They can't. By the time you get to round 5, turn 6, and unless you're absolutely destroying someone, you're not going to keep that up.
Well,
Like
my
you're
point
gonna.
is they're going to have to try to do that, so that's defining their movement. Even
Oh
if
yeah,
even if you never use it, it's defining
that's
their movement, and
that's a
it's making them easier to be assaulted because they're pushing the screens forward. It's easier to make them wrapped, and
yeah,
so I think there's a lot of play in that. I just want to
yeah.
mention I've just been reading this ambush stratagem. It's not linked to infantry, is it?
It's not. Oh yeah, your fire raptors back in play.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, you know how universally how Space Marines get the best stratagems.
Yeah,
This is
I think
18-inch range. It's not linked to infantry,
mm,
and there's no -1 to hit.
it is 2 CP though. If Iron Warriors had it, it would be 1 CP. So
No, no, no. The Auspex scan for Space Marines is 1 CP. It's infantry
yeah,
only. -1 to hit. They've got to be within 12. This is
that be
18-inch range on a Fire Raptor.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, that is fair enough. Well, this is exactly what I said earlier, right? Go look at all the bold and see where it doesn't say infantry, because that straight away starts you thinking about stuff like that. I'd done that. I didn't even pick that up, to be fair. But then, to be honest, I've only been thinking about a blitz for these guys, so I was kind of like, well, they do that anyway. The only problem with all of this, and I've just had this problem with this book is entirely relics, warlord traits, and psychic powers. And strats. Yeah. So warlord traits is 1 per army, unless you've got something like Alpha Legion where you can get another one. Relics is usually 1 per army, but because these are all like when you have Black Legion, you could take 1 Black Legion relic and then one from the other army. It'd be 1 CP. But these are all part of the Chaos One. So if you want any of these relics, you have to pay 1 CP for one, or you get one for free. You pay 1 CP for a second, or you pay 3 CP for a third, and that's it. Like, you're not paying 3 CP for 3 relics. It's never worth it. So you've got 2 choices of relics from this entire book, and there's so many good relics that how the hell you choose that? That's what I've been struggling with the most. And then the strats are like 4 to 6 CP combos. So
the strats are all amazing though, and the thing is that I genuinely think there's no reason to go pure in these books, is there?
You have to go pure in each detachment. So if you want
each detachment, but it's not like Space Marines where you get additional benefits.
Yeah.
And in a way, you're losing a lot of tactical flexibility by like purely going Night Lords.
Yeah.
You want that Alpha Legion in there, so you've got that ambush stratagem, because that completely changes how your opponent's gonna deep strike their units against you.
Well, you got scrambled coordinates first. I mean, they have to deploy 12 inches away from you, and then you can shoot them at an 18-inch range. So it's those two together are amazing. But then that's 3 CP. This is the problem that I'm saying, is that if you want to do what I've just described in shooting all that time, you've got Devastation Battery for the main thing. Then you've got 1 CP to do the stratagem from Devastation Battery. Then you're firing twice for 2 CP. Then you're concealing for 2 CP. Then you're using ambush for 2 CP and maybe scrambled coordinates. You've just spent 9 CP.
But you don't need to spend them, because your opponent's thinking that you're going to spend them, and you're not. You may not even care about spending them, but the fact
make sure you make him aware that you've got those CP. Like, you should. Let me just tell you exactly what my army could do.
If I had unlimited CP, this is what I could do. So be scared.
You just hand them this page in the book and say, you just read those stratagems before I start. Just make sure you're aware that I could do any of those stratagems at any moment, but I can only do one.
Let's hope they don't realise it's a 25 CP combo that you've got.
Yeah. Well, talking about CP, moving on from this now, because I think I could go into more depth, but I think that's good enough for now, is you get onto the relic page, and I will just mention the Hydras whale on this relic, because if you're Alpha Legion playing against Alpha Legion, or in fact if you're Alpha Legion playing against any of the combos in this book, and we're going to come on to Emperor's Children later and stuff, where you are blowing 4 to 6 CP in a turn, the Hydras whale is the way you counter it. It's similar to Caladius, basically. Once per battle, at the start of the battle round, you basically mean that every time they spend a CP, you roll a dice, and on a 4+, they have to spend another CP, or the strat doesn't go off. It's so strong, and it would just shut down a combo. Like the Emperor's Children combo that I'm thinking at is literally, it's like 4 to 6 CP in a turn. You can't avoid it. You have to spend that. Well, if you're rolling a 4+, that's more likely to be 6 to maybe 7 or 8 CP in a turn. You probably can't even afford that. So it really just completely shuts you down.
Yeah, it's not linked to a turn, so you could do it from turn 2, or you could do it in turn 3 when you know your opponent's going to have their big turn, because not everyone sets straight out for the Alpha Strike. Some lists are Beta Strike armies, and it's
absolutely. That's why that Emperor's Children list that we'll come on to later
is from the start of the battle round, is it?
It's the start of the battle round. Yeah, so you declare at the start of the battle round that you're doing it.
Because there's a lot of units like Raven Guard which use all their CP at the start of the first battle round.
Yeah, well, that's what it says once per
Yeah.
battle at the start of the first battle round. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really quite good in that respect.
Yeah, it's super good. I mean, it's really hard with the relics to choose. As I said, that I mean, you really want to be taking that one, but that's normally like your throwaway second relic, and then you have something better for the first. I'll just mention Mind Veil there because I keep thinking about it, trying to make it work. You basically, it's another relic, and you just roll 3d6, and that becomes your move characteristic. But you can move through enemies and terrain as if they weren't there, and you can fall back and still charge. And I'm thinking that could be really good because it's not tied to anything. I thought it could be quite good on a Lord Discordant. So first turn, you just run up but hide behind a wall or something, and then second turn you just become invincible. You just can walk straight through the walls and charge models, or you can charge straight through a screen. For example, you maybe turn one, you charge into a screen. Like you had I don't know. I mean, just trying to think of ways to make it work. Possibly if you deep strike a character or something behind a wall, and then you can charge through the wall, so you can't be overwatched because you're behind cover, but then you don't have to make a stupid high charge around the wall to get there. You just walk straight through it. So anyway, there's some play there, something to think about.
I think the difficulty is there's better things in the book, isn't there?
Yeah, well, that's your relic. So if you're only taking if you're taking pure Alpha Legion, you're probably taking that relic and Hydras as well. The other stuff isn't great. A 2-up save and a 5-up feel no pain is pretty nice.
Okay.
Okay, we're getting through them now.
Should we do what are we gonna do? Are we gonna Iron Warriors or are we gonna do Emperor's Children?
I literally think the Iron Warriors and Emperor's Children are the best in the book. Let's try and keep it short with Iron Warriors, and then I can talk about my list for Emperor's Children, and then we're finished because there really isn't much to say about World Eaters. So I think that's
Poor World Eaters.
Which I hate because I bloody love World Eaters.
Yeah.
But oh, sorry, just back on Alpha Legion. Seriously, 9-inch pre-game move and then conceal on a unit of 20 berserkers. Oh, that makes me happy. Anyway, right, Iron Warriors Warlord traits. So I really like almost all of these. They are so good. I've got to talk about one combo first, which is the Bastion, which is a Warlord trait.
I love it, Lewis. Let's be quick. I love it all. I want to talk about everything.
I can literally talk about everything. Okay, just really, really super quick. So, Bastion. This is one of the combos. So, Bastion. It gives all Iron Warriors units, which isn't linked to infantry. So, it includes your Kaitans and your Fire Raptors and everything. -1 AP counts as AP 0. Yeah. So we see that for the Salamanders. Everyone's aware of that. We were talking about last time how strong that is on Salamanders in cover, for example. And you can combo that. And that's everything within 6 inches. And then you combo that with the Dower Duty 1 CP strat, which means AP. It reduces the AP by 1. And when I first read that, I was like, why don't you just give me +1 saves? That makes no sense. But I realized the point of that is that it makes all your Space Marines with your stupid doctrines that are AP -2, your Dower Duty makes it AP -1, and then you ignore AP -1. That combo, and that's so the Bastion, you have to be in cover to be fair, but it happens on all Iron Warriors units within 6 inches. Dower Duty you can do on any Iron Warriors unit, but you have to select the unit. And then if you're in cover, obviously you get your cover save as well. So that's why it's so strong, because you imagine if you're in cover, you would be on a 3-up save would be a 2-up save, but then you'd be -2, so you'd be on a 4-up save. And this means AP -2 becomes AP -1, which becomes 0, which you ignore, and then you're in cover anyway, so you get your 2-up save. So there's a difference between a 2-up save and a 4-up save. It's so good. It's always difference between a 5-up save and a 2-up save. Anyway, it's really good. And the fact that it's on anything, the Dower Duty strat, which is 1 CP, is on anything. So you can do that on a Kaitan. Like, put a Kaitan, put it in cover if you can first turn, and it's like, it's just absolutely solid.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
So that's really good. And then the next combo then is Demon Smith. Oh, man, I love to see somebody rucking a demon engine army in Iron Warriors. Everyone, if you play Iron Warriors, you probably have a demon engine army. That's probably what you've got. But Demon Smith is basically any roll of a 6 becomes an additional hit. So it's like the Iron Fist trait. Iron Fist, yeah. No, not the Iron Fist. What are they called? Imperial Fist, third trait. So if you think about like a Defiler, and I was just thinking just a min detachment of like 3 Decimators with Butcher Cannons, put them next to a Demon Smith Lord, then they've got 8 shots each with their Butcher Cannons, strength 8, AP -1, 2 damage. Every roll of a 6 to hit gives them an extra hit, and you put them next to Crimson Crown, and every roll of a 6 to wound gives them an extra hit. With Master Possession, rerolling hits and wounds of 1. So your Master Possession has the Warlord trait, and then he goes with 3 Decimators, and that's It's 24 strength 8, AP -1, 2 damage shots. Reroll hits of wounds of 1, and hits of 6s and wounds of 6s count as extra hits. That's amazing. That's so good. Oh man. So anyway, that's pretty cool. And then just a shout out to Stoic Advance if you want to play like loads of defilers and things all moving forwards. Give your Stoic Advance to like a Lord Discordant, and that means that those defilers and everything, which the biggest problem with them is they're BS4, and then they move, so they become BS5. They ignore the penalties for moving, so they stay at BS4, and then Lord Discordant gives them +1 to hit, so they're BS3. So like that, all of a sudden, those defilers are actually bloody scary because as they're moving up, they're shooting their battle cannons and doing everything, and then they charge into combat. They're really strong as well. So yeah, that's solid. And then Siege Masters letting you reroll wounds of 1 is pretty good as well. So just into the strats very quickly. Cannon fodder is an obvious one. It's how they should have worded the Salamanders trait. I don't understand it.
So anyone who's not seen, the Salamanders had to have a little bit of an FAQ because
they had an FAQ book. It was like a 1,000-word essay on how to run this
because the self-sacrifice did kind of break the game. Just completely break the game, in fact. So they reworded it, and effectively does the same thing as this stratagem, but they did it with twice the number of words.
Yeah, and I honestly, I was saying in the chat as we were talking about it, I was like, I got halfway through reading it and I fell asleep, and I woke up and I completely forgot what I was reading, and I had to read it like 5 times. I still don't know what it does. It might as well give you like +20 wounds and whatever.
It's something about having 5 guys, and those 5 guys talk to another 5 guys behind them, but not the other guys near them. And
as long as they're named Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they're in a perfect pentagon shape, and the sun is at 5 o'clock on a Monday. It's so stupid. When Cannon Fodder does it exactly clearly. It's very simple. It says what it is, and it's great. It's good. It only works on cultists. That's the difference, but it's really good for you. Again, if you took one squad of Alpha Legion a Blitz and one squad of Iron Warriors a Blitz, and the Alpha Legion one are concealed, and these ones have got Cannon Fodder, it's a long time before you're shooting any of Blitz. So
is the Cannon Fodder, is it tied to? Yeah, it's tied to Iron Warriors, isn't it?
It's tied to Iron Warriors and Iron Warriors cultists.
So you can't be like Salamanders and protect other people.
No, it's not. It's not that good. Well, you're not protecting anything. You're fucking throwing them in front of you and letting them take the shot. They're called Cannon Fodder.
No, they're protecting something else.
But anyway, it's really good. But it is Iron Warriors infantry as well, so that is up to that. I really have to talk about methodical annihilation because this is my favourite thing, and I've come up with a little bit of secret sauce in the book. I'm sure other people recognise it as well when they're looking through the book. But I had to understand it because basically it's 1 CP, so it's super cheap. It's really efficient. Reroll the damage roll for a unit, or reroll the type characteristic. And I asked you what type characteristic was, and you didn't really know. I didn't really know. And then I realised that type is the number of shots, basically. I don't know why.
Is that what it is? Because it's not written down anywhere.
Yeah, so like it will say type. Like assault D6, for example. So the type is assault, but it also says D6 like next to it. So it will be an assault D6. So like a flamer will be assault. I think that's right. It says assault D6. So basically, the reason I think this is good is if you go to the Whirlwind Scorpius, it says a type. Is it heavy D3? I think it says. 3D3. I'll read it for you. Sorry.
Oh, you are right. It does say type. And then it says like heavy D6 or something on it. Yeah.
So it took me a while to figure that out because I'd never seen that being used before. But hey, it makes sense. Well, it doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. So this Scorpius, so Scorpius is type heavy 3D3, right? So and it fires twice. So what this means is that when you roll your 3D3, you can re-roll, and it specifically says any or all of the dice. So you roll 3D3 and you roll a 1, a 2. Exactly. You roll a 1, a 2, and a 5. Well, you're going to keep the 5 because that's 3 shots, and you can re-roll the 1 and 2. So you re-roll specifically those 2. So what that means is it just brings the average variance up, obviously. So the Hellfish Scorpius that's shooting 3d3 shots twice is shooting 6d3. So that's 6 dice that you get to pick whether you're going to roll or re-roll. And that's no line of sight, strength 6, AP2, 2 damage.
Do you have to do it before you roll or after you roll?
It says you can re-roll any or all of the dice to determine the type characteristics of the weapon.
Do you do it before you rolled it? If you've got to use the strat?
Yes, when it's chosen to shoot. So yeah,
you can't just do it when it fluffs it.
You can't, but it lasts until the end of the phase, and that's why it's good on the Scorpius. So it means that both times you're shooting, you get to do it on both shots, which is amazing. Similarly, because the other part of that, it says reroll the damage roll. So if you're thinking of like a squad of Las Cannon Havocs, they shoot, you're going to reroll the damage roll, right? So they shoot, then you reroll the damage roll, then you endless cacophony to shoot again, and you get to reroll the damage roll again. Like, brings up the variance on D6 weapons. It brings up the variance insane because you're always rolling for that extra one. But if you get to reroll all of the times that you wound with that, it's really good. And then if you combine that Scorpius, and this is what really got me going, if you combine that Scorpius with the Tank Hunter strat, you get to reroll all wounds against vehicles. So you're rerolling the number of shots, you'll put them next to a Chaos Lord, you reroll the hits, and then you reroll all wounds. Oh my god, like that is just a one Scorpius, and that, I mean, it's so good. So
hold on, it's just to clarify something. Is the Whirlwind Scorpius for Chaos still a Whirlwind?
It's not. No, it's not called a Whirlwind Scorpius. It's called a Hellforge Scorpius.
Ah, okay.
It doesn't have the word Whirlwind anywhere in it, but then it doesn't have any strats that relate to Whirlwind. So. But yeah, I know what you're getting at. But it is a Hellforge vehicle, so that does mean that it can charge into combat and actually do some damage back because it gets like AP -2 attack, AP -3 attacks.
Ooh.
It gets four AP -3 attacks. That's strength 6 and weapon skill 5+. Oh.
That's because Chaos stuff has spikes on it.
Yeah, and then when it dies, it blows up, and if you're a Psycho, it also does D6 wounds. It's just all of the and it heals itself in combat, obviously, if it attacks as well. So it's just funny because when you finally do charge it, you're like, oh wait, hang on, wasn't expecting that. So yeah. Anyway,
speaking of things which blow up, doesn't the Alpha Legion have that strat to almost auto blow up something?
Well, it's on a 3+3 to it. Yeah. Your microphone's going a little bit.
Is
it's
it?
going? Yeah, it's just muffled. Okay. So I'm not going to go through the relics massively, other than just note the Insidium relic, which, like we mentioned earlier with the word bearer stuff, gives you the demon keyword. It also gives you +1 strength and toughness and wounds. Oh, it's really good. So yeah, definitely think about that Insidium. I've got loads of combos off that demon stuff. So if anyone's interested, then hit me up and I'll copy and paste some of this into the chats. Okay, and then lastly, because I'm not going to talk about World Eaters because it's really not mentioned much to mention on World Eaters and the video gone forever, I have to talk about Emperor's Children.
Yeah, we've you've been wanting to do this right from the start, haven't you?
I have, and I don't know. Again, I can't talk about it forever because there's so many combos here. But beginning of the year, I made one of my hobby goals was to start an Emperor's Children army because I expected that they would get something this year, and I've got no better reason than to do it for the stuff that's in this book. So, I think it's probably best if I just talk about my list, which will reference most, if not all, of the strats and combos.
Come on, bring it on. What have you come up with?
My list. All right, so I'm actually going to start the list because it's one battalion that costs 1,500 points, and that is a problem because it's running low on CP. So it's 1,400 points. It's running low on CP and it needs to use its CP. I've worked it out. It will blow all its CP in the first turn, and I think it has like 1 CP left or whatever.
That's the best way to use CP. Do you know why that is? Because all these people are going to be taking Inquisition or Order Xenos people to CP farm all your CP.
Yeah.
And they're going to completely wasted it because they're not going to have any CP to farm.
Yeah, well, as long as I don't come up against a Caladius, Caladius Assassin or the Alpha Legion stuff. Actually, it's probably better to blow your CP in the second turn with this list, so maybe that's actually an advantage because it negates the Caladius. But anyway, it's 1,400 points, so I haven't really figured out the last 500 points. At the moment, I've got the last 500 points coming back to what we just talked about, Iron Warriors, being Iron Warriors Scorpius, a squad of Las Cannon Havocs and Auto Cannon Havocs with the Siege Master Warlord trait, which lets you reroll 1s to wound, and obviously he's a Chaos Lord, so he's reroll 1s to hit as well. So I've just slotted that in as a nice 500 points, but you could do 500 points whatever you want.
Come on, talk about the combo. What have you got? You're teasing us at this point.
I'm teasing you. So it's an Emperor's Children battalion. And it's got a Chaos Lord and a Dark Apostle, and then it's got a Fire Raptor and a Storm Eagle. So...
and just in case anyone wonders why we keep talking about Fire Raptors, it's because I own 2 of them, Lewis owns 1 of them, and we desperately want Fire Raptors to be cool again.
Well,
and we're going to keep talking about them on this channel until they do become cool again.
I'm going to make them cool. Emperor's Children, I'm going to bring them out, and everyone's going to be like, okay, that's fair. That Fire Raptor is good. Well, the reason we talk about it is only because the principle of it's got the movement, it's got a ridiculous amount of firepower. It's got, for Chaos, it's got the most amount of firepower on one model that you can get. So anything that lets you reroll wounds of that model, anything that lets that model fire twice or whatever it is really getting a benefit when it's on one model. So obviously for Emperor's Children, one model is the way to go. So we've got a Fire Raptor, you've got a Storm Eagle, you've got a battalion. So in that battalion you've got 20 Noise Marines, or 18 actually in this case, because they go in the Storm Eagle, and then there's a Chaos Lord in the Storm Eagle, and there's a Dark Apostle in the Storm Eagle. So you're starting on the board with 2 squads of Cultists, Storm Eagle, Fire Raptor. That's it. Right. So the way I kind of see this is you deploy both the Storm Eagle and the Fire Raptor as far back as you can, like way, way, way at the back of the board. That negates a lot of shooting because most stuff doesn't have the range to reach the far corner of the board. If it does, it's a couple of shots which you should be able to weather because they're -1 to hit. And to be honest, if you really want to survive, you can keep the Dark Apostle outside the Fire Raptor and use it to give the Fire Raptor -1 to hit, so it becomes -2 to hit. I had a Demon Prince in this list, but a Sorcerer or something like that to give it the 5-up Feel No Pain. You can give a Fire Raptor or the Storm Eagle the 5-up Feel No Pain is probably a really good idea. And that means that Storm Eagle, which is holding your payload, your 20, your 18 Noise Marines and your Chaos Lord and your Dark Apostle, is not going to die because it's -2 to hit, 5-up Feel No Pain, and it's way at the back of the board. So that's the way to keep it survived. You've got a choice if you go first or second. I honestly think with this list you choose to go second, which in ITC and stuff is actually favourable anyway. And the fact that you can choose to go second is going to be really good. If you go first, you use Tactical Perfection, which is one of their stratagems. So we're into the stratagem straight away. For 1 CP to pick up that transport, that Emperor's Children unit, the Storm Eagle, and move it to the front of the board, right on the front of your deployment zone. Sorry. Then you get your 20 Noise Marines out 3 inches from that, plus their base, that's about 1.5 inches. And then they move their 6 inches. Now, at this point, you've got to decide how you want to play combat elixirs. It's totally up to you. You have the option, obviously, to give them +2 to move, to give them that, basically 3 + 1 + 8-inch move off the back of that, and then they're 24-inch weapons. So it pretty much puts them into range of whatever they need to shoot. And they're assault weapons, so you could always advance and fire them if you wanted to. And if you really wanted to, you always got warp time in there as well. So they're pretty much turn 1 going to be able to shoot what they need to shoot. Now, the reason that's really important is because they have a ridiculous amount of firepower. They've got 3 shots each, which are basically bolt guns, but ignores cover, but they're assault weapons. Then they have the Blast Masters, which are kind of like missile launchers, but also can be flamers as well. D6 shots, AP -1. So there's a bit of play there to give you flexibility. But the main reason you're doing this is you're coming on to the next stratagem, which is Excruciating Frequencies, which is 1 CP. Strength 5 on the weapons instead of Strength 4, and 2 damage on the weapons as well, which makes them amazing. So if you think about a unit of 20, that unit of 20 now has a unit of 20, each firing 3 shots, has 60 Strength 5, 2 damage shots, which ignores cover. And then obviously you get an endless cacophony. That's the whole point. So now that's 120 Strength 5, 2 damage shots next to a Chaos Lord rerolling hits. That is really strong. Who else was in that Storm Eagle? It was our Dark Apostle. What's our Dark Apostle going to do? He's got the Relic. He's got the Relic banner that he unfurls with a picture of a giant penis or whatever it is on it against these guys hard. And all of a sudden, they're re-rolling all wounds. And it's not just them, it's a bubble of 6 inches. So when I saw this Relic, I was like, it's a bubble of 6 inches for all Emperor's Children units, not linked to infantry or whatever. So I'm like, how much firepower can you get within 6 inches on a turn to just absolutely blast it, re-roll hits and wounds? So hits obviously off the Chaos Lord, because the reroll hits a 1, and then rerolling all wounds off this is just phenomenal. Chaos have always missed the reroll wounds aura. It's been really hard for them to get, and now they just reroll all wounds. So that's 120 Strength 5 shots, ignores cover, 2 damage. Then you've got your Fire Raptor, and then you've got the Storm Eagle, which the Storm Eagle is like a Fire Raptor. It's got slightly less firepower, but still has a lot of firepower. So all of that in one turn, so that's 120 of those shots. Is it 24 heavy bolter shots?
Yeah.
It's 10 strength 6 AP2 2 damage shots. You give it the 4 las cannons because why the hell not? And it has the hellstrike and it has there's another one.
That's it.
That's it, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Storm Eagle basically has kind of the same. It's got auto cannons instead of heavy bolters. It's got Vengeance Launcher, which is just 3d3 shots or something, but it can also take the las cannons as well. So all of that in one turn of firepower is insane, and that's your turn 1 blow your load, and that will just cripple most armies with that start stuff on the board. They just cannot take that amount of firepower. So that's if you go first. If you go second, it's even stronger, right? Because if you go second, you don't tactical perfection, so you're saving the CP. You let them shoot you, whatever they're going to do, they're not going to kill it. And then in your turn 1, you fly your Storm Eagle, so right into the middle of their army, like literally fly it all the way wherever you want on the board, plonk it in the middle of as many models as you can, make sure the base is as close to as much stuff that they don't want to move as is physically possible, right? And then in their turn, what are they going to do? They're not going to shoot your Fire Raptor. They're going to have to shoot the Storm Eagle because they know what's coming out of it. And they think, well, if I can pop the Storm Eagle, then I can kill the guys as they come out. Yeah. So they put as much firepower into that Storm Eagle as they can. Bear in mind, the Storm Eagle is -2 to hit because the Dark Apostle can make it -2, although it's a little bit complicated if you're starting in or getting out, so maybe it's not. 5 up, feel no pain if you're giving to it. So it's going to last enough. It will die. I tell you for a fact, it's going to die. Those guys are going to get out. You're going to lose a couple when they're coming out, but it will absolutely die. But the point being is that they've used so much of their firepower to try and kill it that they haven't got too much to kill the Marines that come out. And even when they kill the Marines when they come out, they're noise Marines, so they shoot when they die. And also, because it's not your shooting phase, they can shoot characters, isn't it?
No, I don't think they can do that.
Have they changed that?
I'm pretty sure they've changed it to they shoot as if it's your shooting phase.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that, but anyway, let's just assume they have.
I don't know. Someone type in below. I think
it should get changed.
I think they changed it because you did used to be able to snipe characters.
I don't remember seeing the FAQ, but then I haven't been paying attention to Empress Children. So anyway, it doesn't matter. If they've got it, it's super strong. If they don't, it doesn't make a difference. But the point being is that at the end of the shooting phase, you've lost your Storm Eagle. You've lost a couple of guys. I can't imagine they have that much firepower coming out. And if they have, those guys are shot back. It doesn't really matter at that point because what's left is going to do the job. And what the point of that is that when they get out, your Chaos Lord, who's got a jump pack, by the way, he gets out and he gets out anywhere within 3 inches of that base of that Storm Eagle, and then he uses the strat that lets him heroically intervene up to 6 inches.
That's a huge distance.
Yeah. Now he's got jump pack as well, so bear in mind he can get to move over characters, so he can sit within your little noise marine squad, and then he can just jump over the top of them, so he's totally safe. And if you think the squad size of that base when you've flown it right into the middle of the army, he is going to get into heroic interventions. Essentially,
he's got 11 inches. 11 inches, is it? From
just shy. I'll be like 10.5. It depends on what base you've got. I was actually going to do it with Terminator originally because it's got a 40 mil base, but then you don't get the you can't move.
It's 10 inches. Sorry, it's 10 inches.
It's 10 inches, yeah. I was going to do it with the Terminator base, but then you can't move over your own models. So if you have a little like that, can cause a problem. Whereas with the jump pack, you just move in your own model, so it doesn't matter. So like he is
in any direction.
10 inches, any direction from the size of a Fire Raptor's base, which is right in the middle of their army. Like you're gonna heroically intervene into combat. So what if that guy got? Obviously, he's got the Slanesh claws for D6. Basically, you roll a dice for the demon weapon. On a 2+, you get that many additional attacks. They're re-rolling wounds. He's re-rolling hits because it's Chaos Lord, and they're AP2 strength +1 or something. I can't remember. But anyway, 2 damage. Like he's just coming out with all kind of crazy attacks, and he's guaranteed to get into combat. And then in your turn,
should we just quickly explain that heroic invention because some people won't quite understand it? I've done a video on it as well, guys. Because you set your character up where you want in their turn, you can effectively always guarantee you're going to get to heroically intervene because you set them up within 6 inches of one of their units, then you just go for it.
Yeah. And that's why you'll fly right into the middle of the base because you're looking for the places where you want to charge into it. So like if you think about the typical way that Iron Warriors will play, they'll have their Leviathan Dreadnought with the Ironstone or whatever. You're going to be able to get that Storm Eagle within, because you can place it anywhere because it's just a flying vehicle. So you're going to be able to get that in a place where you're going to be able to heroic 10 inches into that Leviathan without it being able to shoot you. And that is just phenomenal. And bear in mind, you heroically intervene in their turn. So now it's your turn, right? You've probably got, 10 or so maybe 15 of your guys left, or if you've done really well, you've got your entire army left still inside the vehicle because it hasn't died. Then you do that entire combat I've just described anyway, because you do that. Another beauty about that relic is it lasts for the entire battle. It's a battle round or player turn. It lasts for the entire battle round.
Yeah.
So actually, when they blow it up and your guys get out, then you release the banner, because then as your guys are dying, they're shooting back at them with the reroll wounds, and then in your turn it's still the same battle round, so then you get it for your shooting and then your assault as well. And remember, Noise Marines have got 2 attacks. I don't know why, but they've got 2 attacks base. If you give them the combat legs, I would give them the one that gives them the +1 attack, and then they get hateful assault. So if they do get to charge, they've got 4 attacks each, and a 20-man squad with 4 attacks each is a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
And then obviously onto the last stratagem that you're going to use if you're going to do that is the Cruel Duelist, which means that every time you roll a 6 to wounds, you get AP -3. So obviously, as you do veterans on that unit, and they're re-rolling all wounds, means they're getting a lot. 4 attacks each, of which probably half of those, or just under half of those, will be AP -3. Rerolling wounds, rerolling hits, like that unit is going to absolutely annihilate. And the troops, they're going to hold all the objectives as well. So like that is a little combo. I mean, I know it's 1,400 points. I know it's blowing your load, but it's just such a solid. You can just see how that army would work. It fly up there, land there, and the whole time they're trying to deal with something that's not the Fire Raptor. That's just for 2 or 3 turns flying around, just shooting what the hell it wants, and you've still got 500 points in the back pocket. Yeah. So,
and I think the obvious counter to this is people will say, "Oh, I could just wrap the flyer to stop you getting out, maybe kill the whole unit." But actually, you're flying a Fire Raptor into their line, so the only thing which is going to be able to wrap them, you're going to kill it. So you're going to kill like the 30 or 40 guardsmen that could potentially wrap.
Yeah. Well,
so your goal for turn 1 when you're flying forwards is literally just to kill everything, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And what they got to be able to charge it, so they can only charge it with stuff that's got fly anyway.
No, they don't have to charge it. They could wrap around it.
Oh, so when it dies, yeah.
But they can do that. But I'm saying is when you move forward with your Fire Raptor turn 1 to go into their lines, you're going to kill anything which could potentially do that. And actually, in this meta at the moment, where we're not dealing with massive hordes, there's very few armies that can actually wrap a base as big as can actually wrap a flyer properly.
Yeah.
So you can always get out behind their screen. Because you just place the model, you don't have to move through it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's the list right there. As I said, I'm comboing that with the Scorpius for even more shooting and the Las Cannon Havocs and everything like that. But there's loads of other stuff. I mean, I'd done all that, and I mentioned in the video before when we did this the last video we did, if Chaos could only get away to ignore Overwatch, it would be amazing. And I've done that entire Emperor's Children list, and I haven't even thought about the Armor of Aberrants, which gives them no Overwatch.
Is that just on the bearer, is it?
Just a relic. Gives basically the bearer gets no Overwatch, and also they roll 1 extra dice or something when they take a morale check. Is it? No, 1 extra model from the unit flees. I haven't even talked about that because you don't need it. You're heroically intervening into them in their turn, and you're just shooting everything. So yeah. So there you go. Like that's it. And then Weldy is
one other thing to check on is the Emperor Children, which you can change a dice to make a 6.
No, that's the Word Bearers one. That's the hexagrammic ward on the Word Bearers.
There's one when you're charging, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's really cool.
My list doesn't even need that. But yeah. So, you just make a dice and auto 6. That's really good on things like on Lord Discordance. Is it infantry? No, it's just Emperor's Children's Slash unit. Really good on Lord Discordance. Really good on coming
on anything. It just genuinely means your minimum charge is now 7 inches.
Yeah.
As opposed to 2.
Yeah. And if you're coming out of Deep Strike, obviously with the +2 to charge from the thing means you're guaranteed to make a Deep Strike. So your Warp Talons with that are in a with the tip of the spear thing. Forgotten the name of the bloody touchman now. The host Raptora, yeah. They got guaranteed charge because it's 6. The dice becomes a 6, and they get +2 charge anyway, so that's 8. You can't roll less than a 1 on your other dice.
So even if you roll Snake Eyes, you're still in.
The other thing I really like that is you roll your charges first, and then you pick one of those to become a 6, and then you can still re-roll the other one. So like you can legitimately be making like 10, 12-inch charges like without much hassle. So No, I mean that's just amazing. So yeah, I'm really happy with all of that. Just the very final wrap up of all this, not to mention anything in particular, but there is so many ways to reduce leadership and to deal with leadership in this book. If you wanted to think about it, food for thought. Someone come up with a list, please. I'd like to see it of all the different combos of stuff you can do to reduce leadership, because there's like 2 or 3 ways to make them roll an extra dice, to make them lose an extra model, to reduce their leadership for this, that, and the other. I honestly think there's a list in there where you take a unit like a fire act or something like that shoots one heavy bolter at that unit, one heavy bolter at that unit, one heavy bolter at that unit, and then all of a sudden they're just losing all their models from morale because there's just so many combos for that. So yeah, somebody have a look at that. I'll be very interested to see that.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about Chaos. I can play Chaos now. I don't like Space Marines anymore.
It's awesome. I mean, I don't know where to start. Literally, I've written 3, 4, 5 lists, and I'm like, which one do I play first? Because they're all great. The problem is, we've got the tournaments coming up in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks and stuff, the ones I want to do quite well at, and I have no list because they've only just released the book.
That's the sign of a good book, isn't it? It's not there's one good thing in there. It's just like there's so many cool things, and I'd say apart from World Eaters, they've really hit it. They've really hit it home with this.
World Eaters, they're very close. They made Apocalypse friendly work on any unit rather than just on infantry. They could have had some amazing like biker like lists and stuff like that, but at the moment, it's just bikes are okay. Red Butchers are kind of cool actually, that they can fight twice. There's some play there, but it's just they just don't have enough, unfortunately. So it's a shame.
So there you go, guys. Comment below. Let us know what you think. If we've missed any cool combos, let us know.
I would say I'm really happy to talk about this more in individual videos later. So if a lot of people are commenting below and they all ask for some list ideas on one particular legion or something, I could write 2 or 3 lists for any of these legions quite happy that I think would be good. So I'm quite happy to do that on solo videos if people are interested. So just make sure you comment in below and you show lots of likes, and we'll pull out the content.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Brilliant. Bye, guys.